When we really think about what it looks like to be feminine, how do we leverage this power? First of all, a lot of us think that it's a weakness to be feminine. A lot of us walk around thinking femininity means how I look. Other people think femininity is allowing other people to walk all over you, where you have no power, where you have no say, where the world just gets to do whatever they want. But that couldn't be furthest from the truth. It's a beautiful journey when you think about it, because it allows you to be in a space where you can lead in a different way. You can have marriages in a different way. You can date in a beautiful way. You get the promotions you desire. You get the raise you desire. People are enjoying your presence versus you going about life doing things, carrying burdens that were never meant for you. Femininity is not about just your looks. It's not just about what you wear. It's not just about your hair, your perfume, your makeup. If it was that, it would be so easy. I want you to first understand that femininity is an energy. It's the way you show up. It's the way that people receive you. It's the way that you take room and take space. It's the way in which you do it, right? It's your energy. That's what usually draws people into you. That's what allows you to thrive. That's what allows you to effortlessly attract great blessings and maintain great blessings. It's not enough to attract something. It's not enough to get married. It's not enough to enter into the relationship. It's not enough to get the leadership role. It's not enough for you to get the raise. As a matter of fact, sometimes you don't even get the raise because people will promote those they enjoy being around, not just those people who have the skill set, right? But when we think about every blessing that we have, it's not enough to have it. It's more important to maintain it. You want to be able to have it long term. You want to be able to maintain those things long term. And tapping into your feminine power, your God-given feminine power, I'm telling you, it's the key to getting there. It's the key to experiencing it. It's the key to being able to naturally walk into a room and draw in the person that God has for you. How many of you know that God may have an amazing person for you, but your attitude, your personality, the way you show up, your energy can push that person off? So before we dive deeper into what femininity looks like and how it really leverages and how it really pours into all areas of your life, I want to first talk about the journey itself. Because sometimes we think, I can just switch it on and off. No. It's a whole journey because there's a lot of things about us as women that has been stripped from us. So the first part towards that journey towards femininity is healing. Why is healing important? Well, you can't show up with an attractive energy. You can't show up with ease. You can't show up with flow if there's still things from your past that's holding you back. If you're still dealing from that heartbreak, if you're still showing up with bitterness, think about it. If the things that happened in your childhood from your father, your mother, and whatever, you're still dealing with it. And sometimes you're dealing with it subconsciously. These are things that just exudes from you. It's like sweat. It exudes from you. Naturally, without you even thinking. It's just who you are. And you don't even realize how it's repulsing people. So how can you show up with feminine energy, which is the energy that attracts things to you, if you're still broken from the past, if you're still dealing with past hurt, if you're still dealing with trauma, if you're still dealing with what people said, and it's become a part of you and you don't realize it. So healing is so important. That's the first step towards getting toward femininity, right? The second step is wholeness. Wholeness is key. If you're broken, if you don't have self-worth, if you don't think you're worthy of greatness, how are you going to be able to have the very energy that attracts greatness? You don't even believe that you're worth it. Think about it. So after you heal, it's important for you to become wholesome. That's the only way you're going to be able to believe and show up in such of a way where, yes, I deserve greatness. I deserve greatness when it comes to dating. Imagine if you don't have self-worth. What happens? You will date just anybody that comes your way because your bar is so low. Imagine what it looks like in marriage. Imagine what it looks like in your career. If you don't believe you're worthy of the raise, you don't believe you're worthy of better, how are you going to even show up for it? How are you even going to be able to ask for it? How are you even going to accept it if it's been given to you? Think about it. So self-worth also ties to that energy that God has given us, and it's God-given. It really is. So the first step is healing. The second step is wholeness. You have to show up full, whole. You have to believe that you're worthy of more for you to have more. Because sometimes someone could be giving you something great on a platter. And guess what? If you don't believe that you're worthy of it, you're going to be looking at that gift, that present, that blessing, that great relationship, that great proposal, right? That raise. You're going to be like, am I worthy of it? You're going to shy away from it because in your mind, you're not worthy. So self-worth is everything. Wholeness is everything. Okay? So healing, all part of the femininity journey. Self-worth, all part of the femininity journey. Once you've dealt with those two key points, you've gone through the trauma, you've gone through the pain, you've looked within to see what's allowing you to still show up the way you're showing up. You've rebuilt yourself. And guess what? These are called journeys because it doesn't happen overnight. Things that you've been dealing with for years, things that has been holding you back for years, you can expect for you to just show up overnight and for it to shift. So you have to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself time. You have to be dedicated to this journey to say, you know what? I'm going to be locked in. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to be fully healed. It's not going to be a perfect journey, but I'm going to do everything in my power to be fully healed. Once I'm healed, I'm going to do everything in my power to be fully whole. Because you could be healed, quote unquote, right? You've done the work, you've released, but you're still in pieces. You haven't put yourself back together yet. You haven't allowed God to put you back together yet. And so I've released the pain, I've released the person, but now I'm sitting in a place where I'm looking at 6, 7 different pieces that are not cohesive. Only and only then, after you've gone through healing, again, giving yourself grace, going through the journey, only and only then, after you've gone through the wholeness and self-worth journey, again, not overnight, once you've gotten there, then and only then can you start tapping into your femininity because you're so much lighter. You're not carrying baggages from your past. You're not carrying baggages from past relationship, past friendship, things that happened in your childhood, things that you have been led to believe about yourself. That's not even your own belief. It's belief, the belief of those around you. Because you're such a people pleaser, you allow people's words, what they think of you, to be a part of you. Some of you are watching this right now. You don't even know who you are for yourself. You only know yourself through the lens of how people have been seeing you all this time. Who? What happened when you start stripping off the layers of what people have been telling you that you're this, you're that, this is how I see you? What happens if you strip it off and you start tapping into what God sees, into who you truly are? A lot of you are holding on to things that are not even yours. Who? And you wonder why you're so heavy. And so in order for you to be light, femininity is about lightness. It's about peace. It's about flow. It's about being able to receive what God has for you with ease. You don't have to force the blessing. You don't have to force the dating. You don't have to force this man to propose. You don't have to force this marriage to flow. You don't have to force the raise. You don't have to force your team, for those of you who are in leadership positions, to respect you. A lot of you here are in leadership positions. In your team, they only tolerate you. They don't like you. Your attitude, your personality, your energy, the way you show up, the way you speak to them. Sometimes you don't realize the way you speak to your team is rooting from insecurities. You feel like you have to show up with aggression to make them respect you, but it's your own insecurities that's speaking. Only and only when you release and you are just flowing that you can show into a room and you lead your staff with so much ease that they cannot wait to do for you. They cannot wait to support you. They cannot wait to have your leadership because they respect you and they like you versus just, okay, I tolerate this person, I'm here for a paycheck. It all ties back to femininity. It all ties back to that journey. But again, remember, you can't get to femininity if you're not dealing with the things from the past. Healing, wholeness, then femininity. It's a whole journey. It's a package. What are the benefits when it comes to the love life? Let's talk about dating for a second, right? Let's talk about dating. Imagine 2 women. One shows up with feminine energy because they've gone through the whole journey. They've released their whole. They are not impacted by the past. They see themselves in the way God sees them. They see themselves with peace and ease, and they've gone through the journey. Like they have this peace about them where it's like, I'm grounded in who I am. I've done the work. There's this peace. Have you ever met a woman where it's like, man, I enjoy being in her presence. I enjoy talking to her. Everything she says, the way she speaks, like there's always this love and connect. Like you feel so connected to her. Have you ever met a woman like that? And I'm sure you've met the opposite too, right? You've met women who it's like, man, like, ooh, I can't wait to just come out. Like their energy, the words they say, the way they talk to people, it just pushes people away. I'm sure you've also met a woman like that. So I invite you to think about that. When it comes to love, who do you think a man is going to be drawn to? Whether it be that you're dating, whether it be that you're married, who do you think a man will be more drawn to? Even for you as a woman, who would you be drawn to in friendship? You see what I mean? So that's why this journey is so important, because it allows your relationship to flow effortlessly. It allows for better communication, better understanding. It allows for deeper connection, because again, you don't have a bunch of baggage that's allowing you to see the man that's in front of you with jaded eyes, because you're still seeing them from the way in which maybe your dad treated you or the ex-husband treated you. You're still seeing them with jaded lenses versus with clarity, right? So it really impacts romantic relationships. It allows the relationship to just so flow so naturally. And you want that. Who doesn't want a relationship that feels light? We all do. So you doing your work too, you doing your part, going through the healing, the wholeness and femininity journey allows you to even pick, for those of you who are dating, it allows you to pick a different type of men. It allows you to pick men who are going to reciprocate. But when you don't believe you're worthy of more, guess what? Again, you choose whatever's given to you. So no wonder the relationship won't work. So it's not that you can't show up with feminine energy. Sometimes it's that the men that you're choosing are not equipped. They're not equipped to hold the fullness of you as a feminine woman. And so you walking with that energy, it allows you to pick better. And for those of you who are already in relationships and married, it allows you to just flow. It allows you for you to let him be the man, because there's things that he naturally desires to do for you. It's almost as if like women who show up with masculine energy, it's like they're fighting for a role that's already taken. Imagine two people in the kitchen, for example, a guy, your husband or your boyfriend, he shows up and he's picking up like a heavy box and you're like, no, I got it. And it's like, why are we fighting? Like, he already has it. So I want you to think of this picture and think of it in every other way. He has a role that he plays, and you showing up with masculine energy, it's like you also trying to fight for that same role. Versus when we think about, what draws two people together, opposite attract, right? So no wonder men are drawn to feminine energy, because it's not weakness, it's also power. It's like two powerful forces coming together. So it's so important for us to understand, okay, it's not a weakness for me to show up like that. When you really understand what it looks like to show up with that energy, right? So keep that in mind. But let's talk about business and career. For those of you who have a business, or for those of you who are in your career field right now, think about what it looks like when you show up and your staff is around you, your colleagues are around you. If you're honest right now, when you take inventory, how do people usually react towards you? When you walk into the workplace, when you walk into your office or your job location, even if you work remote, when you're in that Zoom meeting, truly and honestly, how does your team, your colleagues respond to you? Are you liked? If there's a raise to be given, are you usually the person that they think about? Not just because of your work ethic, not just because of the skill sets that you have. That's not enough. IQ and emotional intelligence are two different things. You know how many people are really smart? They have the degree, they have the education, they know what to do. But you know how many people won't get a raise? Because guess what? The person who's giving you the raise, they're going to be giving raises to those they like. People want to work with people they like. We're human beings. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are, how well you know how to do the job. People are going to be like, okay, I don't want this person around me. Like, if there's a raise to be given, I would much rather give it to the person that I feel like I can spend this 8 hours with. So sometimes we're leading with, this is my skill set, this is what I bring to the table. But it's like, how's your heart? So let's take inventory. When you think about yourself, how do people respond to you? Does your energy push your colleagues away? Does your energy push those who are in higher positions away? How's your attitude? Again, it roots right back to things that you haven't dealt with from the past. Those things, it does bleed into your professional life. You are one person. What you carry in your marriage, you're going to carry in the workplace. So yes, it bleeds into the business. And for those of you, again, if you're in a career, it's going to bleed into those things, the raise and how well you connect with your colleagues. But for those of you who have businesses too, think about what it does with your clients. People want to buy from people they like. They're not buying just your products. They're buying from you as a person. So how are you treating your staff? How are you treating your employees? How are you treating your clients? Again, you want things to be long lasting, not just, oh, okay, here's this amazing product that I sell, here's this great business, but then you as a leader, you as the business owner, people are like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to work with her. So we have to think about it. The things we don't deal with in our personal lives will bleed into our career, will bleed when we're dating, will bleed in the marriage, will bleed in the career. And same as a leader. As I've shared earlier, you don't want to just be tolerated as a leader. Oh, I have to be under her leadership. It could be in church. It could be, at work. Maybe you hold a leadership position in your business, in your job. But how the people that your direct report, the people that have to report to you, how do they respond to you? Sometimes it's a struggle, right? You notice it's a struggle, right? When you're asking someone to do something and you feel like they're rebelling, they're not doing the things that you're asking. I invite you to check how you're showing up and how you're actually talking to these people, because sometimes we show up with aggression there too. Do this because we want to assert our authority, but I'm telling you, when you show up with feminine energy and you know how to do it well, people are going to be knocking down the door to do things for you. And let me tell you this, the things that I share with you are things that I've lived. I do not teach anything that I didn't have to go through myself. I am telling you, I am never going to teach you something I haven't seen myself. I've gone through a 10-year journey to be where I am. I had to heal. I had to become whole. I had to face demons. I had to let go of certain things that were difficult. And guess what? I had to also learn how to balance the masculine energy with the feminine. And I'm telling you, I walk into a place right now and people will tell me, man, you know what? What can I do to support you? What can I do to help you in my leadership roles, relationships, hearing things, man, you're like a needle in a haystack, or feel like I won the lottery. Because people, let me tell you this, people are always going to see a difference when you show up with that energy, because a lot of people struggle with it. That's why it's so important for you to do the work. Because when you show up differently, people are going to sense a shift. Like, man, like she's different than other women. She's different than the way I usually experience others. People just will want to they will be drawn to you in whatever capacity. Because again, you're one woman. Whatever's attached to you will be impacted by the journey you've gone through. Everything that's attached to you will be a representation of how you show up. So it makes sense. That's why for me, I usually focus on you as a woman. Not just the marriage, not just the dating, not giving you tips, oh, do this, do that, plug A plus B to get C. No. How are you showing up? Because if you can take care of you, it will shift everything that's around you. Everything that's attached to you will also be impacted in a beautiful way. This past few months, I haven't been on live because I've just been working behind the scenes, right? Revamping our curriculum. It's been so impactful for the women that we've been able to support, so impactful for our queens here that we work with one-on-one or within our group, that I wanted to add more value to it. For those of you who's watching here and this is resonating with you, I really want to invite you to think about it. What are your needs? What are you struggling with? What are some of the things that you need to pay attention to? What are you running away from? Yes, what are you running away from? Sometimes you have to face the demons. You have to face the difficulties. You have to heal. You have to become whole. Your self-worth is not where it needs to be. You show up with masculine energy, but you're running away because you're like, man, I don't know what to do, how to do it. Is it gonna work? I've been dealing with this for so long. I'm telling you, it shifts everything. But it starts with a decision. It starts with you saying, I want change. So if you're watching this right now and you're in a space where you need that support, you can reach out to me. I love having conversation with you ladies. I love being able to get your DMs. I love setting up a Zoom call and having conversations to heal your heart. And I can walk you through the journey as to what the framework looks like that's going to allow you to start seeing a shift in all areas. And the beautiful part about the curriculum that we have, and the beautiful part about the sacred coaching space, and for those of you who's worked with me, you know what it looks like, you know what it feels like. It's really a non-judgmental space where you get to come, you get to share, you get to really see yourself in the mirror. Because sometimes we're walking around, we can't see what we look like, but it really allows you to see you. It allows you to have self-awareness, and it also allows you to have a game plan in hand for transition, right? So that's the one-on-one conversation that takes place in the coaching space. But the curriculum is also designed, broken down into those different journeys, the healing journey, the wholeness journey, the feminine journey. And it's not just do this, do that, but this is how to do it. This is what to consider. This is what to look at. This is the framework. These are step-by-steps that you can take to start seeing a shift in your life, right? And so if you're here and you need that support, I would love to have a conversation with you, and we'll just have a real, authentic, open-hearted conversation, because I think as women we need that. We need to have people that really cares for us, people who's been through the journey and who can say, here, this is what you can do, this is the framework. You don't have to guess, you don't have to think about it, this is it, you follow this. We have talks consistently, and over time, within 3 to 6 months, you will see a shift. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. And for those of you who are on Instagram, we get to continue the conversation. I will be taking your Q&As. If you have any questions for me, I would love to be able to answer it. God bless you, and thank you for hanging out with us.